guys, it's Sarah. Let's try this again. I had a house phone call, so I had to, but you're not going to know that. Okay, so this is week 44, and let me just jump into the numbers. I started my journey on April 26, 2012, and at that time I weighed in at 357 pounds. This morning, or last week, I weighed at 216.8, and this morning I weighed in at 217.0. It is Saturday, not Thursday. I wasn't home Thursday. My best friend's been out of town most of the week, her and her husband both, and so I've had her kiddos, and usually when I have her kiddos, we stay there just because it's easier to get the kids up for school and stuff. So, yeah, I had a 0.2 pound gain for the week. Mixed emotions on that, obviously, but am I surprised? No. Lots of reasons. You know, I had carbo load. That is worse. Is that better? Yes, then I gotta hold it like that, so that's ridiculous. I had carbo load. I know I should have fixed this before I started. I had, that's worse. Ah! Sorry. I had carbo load weekend, which I made a video about. And, you know, to be honest, I've had a really stressful week. I'm trying not to make a lot of excuses, but I've had a really stressful week, and so my cortisol level's probably been up. Yeah, I said cortisol. I sure did, my friends. You heard that right here from Miss Sarah. Lady time is supposed to start tomorrow. Probably has something to do with it. And my water has not been on. I have just really had a stressful week. You know, though, even with the 0.2 pound gain, and to be honest, I've learned a lot this week about myself. So funny that when you have a stressful week, or you're really busy, or you're off your routine, things aren't going like you have planned, like in your how you have planned out. You're not around your same environment, your foods. You learn a lot about your strengths and your weaknesses. And it's so weird because I really started this journey thinking I did not have a problem. I probably should have made a video about my breaking point. Because I think I've talked about it, and I know I've talked about it in past videos, that pretty much the only breaking point for me was not being able to have a baby. Did I know I was obese? Of course I knew. I've been overweight, obese my whole entire life. You know, I weighed 240 pounds in the 8th grade. Did that really bother me? Yes and no. I always had lots of friends. I really don't have horror stories to tell. I was always in the more popular crowd. I know that sounds really ugly. Nobody really made fun of me. I'm sure they were. Probably. They weren't making fun of me to my face. There were girls that were way smaller than me that were definitely getting made fun of for their weight, which I always thought was odd. And I don't know if it's just the way I carried myself, like I didn't care, or by the fact that, I don't know why they got picked on instead of me. Or maybe it was obvious that I didn't care. I don't know. I don't know. I had a very good, strong support system in my family, and of course my husband and my friends, and of course even pre-husband. Were there times that I cried because, you know, I didn't have a man? Yes. Did I think it had to do with my weight? A little. I don't know. You know, obviously you're teenage girls, they're going to cry. Did my weight affect things? Yeah, of course it did. I knew that. I knew that there were just certain things I couldn't ride, certain things I couldn't do. Did I really care? Most of the time, not. To be honest, I've kind of been freaking out about things like, oh, I can't use my weight as an excuse not to do that zip line. I'm going to have to say, I don't want to ride that. That's not fun. Instead of being like, oh man, there's a weight limit. I can't do that. Things like that. So, was I upset about my weight? Of course I was. But not really. I mean, I was, but I wasn't. I know that doesn't make any sense, and if anybody has had similar experiences to me, I would love to hear it. I pretty much have always been happy-go-lucky, and I really have enjoyed life. My weight never really stopped me from, doing things and getting involved in things. If there were things that I knew that I could not do, I just wouldn't do them. For the most part, I just tried to do them. But had I been on a roller coaster before and it wasn't going to fit, yeah, and I got off, and did I cry? Of course I did. But did that stop me from getting on the next one? No, not really. Sometimes it did. But I'm not a roller coaster person anyway, so there really wasn't an issue there. I was a little bit apprehensive when my husband and I were going to Disney World. By ourselves. I'd been several times with friends, and I was a lot bigger this time. But then I ended up being fine, and I rode everything I wanted to ride. But just in general, I don't really have any horror stories other than not being able to have children, and that's pretty much where it stopped for me. Of course, I'd tried to lose weight a couple times in my life, just because I was big, and I didn't want to have a heart attack, and I wanted to stick around and have, be here for the good times, and I didn't, I wanted to live a long, happy life. So I did try to lose weight several times, but most of the time it was just for health reasons. I've always been the big girl, and it's weird to me being in the place I'm at now, being so much smaller. And I think that has a lot to do with why people keep coming up to me and asking me how much more weight I'm going to lose, or, telling me I look good, I don't need to lose any more weight. I think it's because people have always seen me, especially people who've known me for a really long time, really, really big. And to see me so small now is a huge difference. So it's because when people say that stuff to me, I get so tickled because I'm like, hello, I'm still considered obese. But I know that it's different. It's weird because I've always been the big girl. I really just went off on a rant, and I'm really sorry. So I learned a lot about myself this week. I've had the breaking point thing on my mind, and I realized, especially after Sunday, and I kind of had started picking up on this, that even though I thought I was not, I am an emotional eater. When I got stressed out the other day from a head lice scare, my brain immediately went to, what can I eat? Not at first, but like the following day when I was trying to get everything taken care of and everything done. By the way, there wasn't head lice, but somebody that we know had it, and as I scratched my head, somebody that we know had it, and so I immediately went on a rampage of checking heads and washing things and doing all the things you got to do for head lice. And my head has itched ever since, just FYI, because that's what always happens. And I've never actually had it, but I've seen it on others, and just working with kids, I know what it is, I know what it looks like, and I know how to treat it. So, I found myself snacking. So that probably, and to be honest, I was under my calories every day. Actually, yesterday I was over 1,000, which is odd. And the day before that, I think I was too. And I found that, I've been keeping up on the calories, but even the things like, I'm having a hard time getting full this week, which could be due to lady time. So I felt like my restriction wasn't as much. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. And part of it could be my water, guys. I wasn't getting my water in like I was supposed to. I did a couple days, but the last 2 or 3 I had not had enough water. I'm already at 9 minutes. I'm sorry. And I've just rambled on about blah. And so I feel like that has a lot to do with it. And then the other thing I feel like it has a lot to do with is that even this week when I was eating exactly what I needed to eat, those numbers were higher. One morning this week, I had bought a sample packet of J-Rob's vanilla protein, which was yummy, by the way. And I put a frozen banana in there, which was a whole one, which is around 100 calories. It was a small one, but it was still around 100 calories. And a tablespoon of peanut butter, which like 1 tablespoon is like 90 calories, I think. And I was at my best friend's house, so it wasn't reduced sugar or anything. But that shake in itself was like 300 and something calories. So things like that, like one single meal's being more calories I'm used to eating. Okay, hold on, part 2 in a minute.